Hi everyone, Angus Campbell here, Monday the 11th of September 2023. Well, all the best laid plans and all that. So, it's changing. Now at the end of the last part, we were preparing everything for reassembly of the yokes and the forks. And most of that is ready to go. So that's the good news. Also, new fork top nutters, bottom fork nutters, sorry. It's the bottom top fork nut. If I can get my teeth around it. That's arrived to replace the one that was slightly damaged. So that's fine. So we're ready to go. But what we've been doing in the meantime with the owner, Greg, is pondering what to do about these wheels. And what we've decided to do, and as somebody said, I think somebody commented in the last video, you know, we just can't help it. We want to do it properly. One of you said, why not try and keep the factory paint? But it's going to be difficult because we can't get a good match for it. And the rear wheel is actually a lot worse than the front. So we've taken the decision to have them done professionally. So they're going into to Central Wheels to get done with new, properly painted rims. I'm not sure if we'll save the spokes or not. I think these are stainless spokes. But really, at the end of the day, you know, they're going to be a sort of minor financial consideration compared to the rest of it. So what we'll do is take the rear wheel out, take the disc off, and take them into Central Wheels this week. And what we can do then in the meantime is plenty. So the other thing we identified in the last part was the fact that there's more paint on this that needs to be done really. The tool tray is dreadful, the battery box, electrical tray, rear mudguard, bracket, also rear engine plates. I don't know why that one was painted, looks like undercoat to me, and the other one's not in very good nick either, so they need to come off. So we need to do another batch of spray paint. So to get in here, we've got to take this lot off. These aren't very clever either, the rear side panels. So they need to get done. In the old days, these used to be alley, the front. Yeah, they are still. But again, not great. So we're actually getting into this deeper than we originally intended as a light renovation. It's going to be more of a full restoration really. But we are going to leave the motor in situ and just take the head off it, paint the barrels in situ. So there's plenty we can be getting on with while we're waiting for the wheels. They're quoting a turnaround time of about 5 weeks for the wheels if we get them in fairly quick before you know, the busy season starts. So what we'll do in this episode is two things. We'll first of all get rid of all the rest of this and rip it all out. We'll remove the cylinder head, we'll remove the rear wheel, we'll remove all the gubbins here. I'll try and keep the mudguard in situ if I can. Might be a bit difficult, but basically get the components off that we need to spray up. And then what we can do is afterwards is check the head is okay. We think it's okay, but the reason why we're taking it apart is there's we think a leak from one of the rocker box gaskets anyway. So we're just going to take the head off and do a check while we're here, and then we can start assembly of the front end and things like that. So that's the revised plan, but we are going to try and crack on with it. So let's begin by ripping out all this superfluous stuff, and then we'll take the head off, and we can start doing plenty of work in that arena whilst we're waiting for the wheels. Right, just clearing all this wiring rubbish from the back end, so a few more misdemeanors. The two alternator charging wire bullets weren't in properly, and they're covered in oil, so that might explain why we had some charging issues. Greg. Second thing is, can't understand where this long wire went. It went down in the depths there somewhere, and on the end of it is hanging the indicator relay, just in mid-air somewhere. Consigned to the scrap box. Next thing, just taking off the inner side panels, and on this side there's no air filter at all, but there was on the other side, so work that one out if it'll ever run equally on each cylinder. No chance. So we'll need a pair of filters, but the good news is that these have been mounted up properly. Now there should be just pins at the back here. There's just one on here, one pin. So what we need to do then to get both inner side panel sets off, these are exactly the same design as originally intended at BSA, so on the A70 Lightning. So what you've got to do first is you've got to undo the two little buggers down there, one there and one there, and they're little tiny BA things. So if you don't get those out, you'll never get there. And then it's just a case of, I think, undoing that one here and the similar on the other side. And then the back panel here is just connected by these two here, but on a pin at the back there. So if we undo that, those two, we should be able to just pull it forward and out. And once we've got that one out of the way, shouldn't take too long, then we're into all this. We can get the battery tray and the electrical tray and the tool tray all off in one, because they're on rubber mountings. One here, one on this side, and there's one at the front there too. The three of them. Obviously we've got the mudguard bolt at the back here to do too, but then that'll clear the way as well for the some of the rear brake workings that we need to check anyway. And we've got to get the rear wheel out, but anyway, it's not going to be too bad. And the carbs are now clear, so we can get those off. So we'll crack on first. Probably I'm going to crack on first with the side panels and all the gubbins at the back of the frame here, and that'll give us a lot more space then to work around the engine, and also to get the rear wheel out. I'll probably need to ascertain how the bike's balancing at the moment and whether or not it's going to tip forward once the rear wheel's out with the engine still in it. So we'll need to secure it up at the front, I think, a bit first. Right, those are the thoughts anyway. Let's get on with it. Okay, side panels out, fairly side panels off, fairly straightforward, but as I said before, just make sure you undo the two little devils that are in there. They're awkward because you've got to have hand on either side spanning over the frame to try and hold everything. Oh, and yeah, another misdemeanor. Same other side. No, that's okay. Right, so we'll begin to clear out a bit now. Next thing I'm going to take off, I think, is the other carbs. But I'm going to have to remove the choke cable. The way that this has been routed, it's probably okay, and it might be original, but it's round frame bits and pieces, and the same with the throttle cables go through the hole in the gusset on this side, and that's correct. So we'll take off at the twist grip, get the carbs off, get the head off, get these gubbins out of here. And then we'll think about brake plates. We need to take the other, rear engine plates. We need to take the other side off to spray that. This looks as though it could do with it. And I think, and I'm sure, yeah, you can take these off without disturbing the swinging arm, which is good. And then rear wheel. And then we should be disassembled as far as we need to go, hopefully. Let's crack on. Next stop, carbs. Right, the carbs are off. The nuts didn't come undone though. All the studs came out, but that doesn't matter because we need the spacer out and everything anyway. There's been a judicious use of black silicone in places to try and seal things up. So I'm now just removing the cables, etc., so I can take the whole carb assembly away. And just thought you'd be interested to see this. No wonder the throttle was a bit stiff. The cables and the nipples haven't seated properly. So, the more we dig in, the more we find to correct, but it's all going to make a difference, hopefully a positive difference. Right, let's finish getting these carbs off. Right, carbs off. Obviously they'll get stripped and ultrasonically cleaned for the jets, etc. It looks as though it's had new slides fitted. They're okay. Bit of a mishmash of fuel pipes, etc., but we can sort that out. And then just one other observation is that breather standard? And why would it just be on the exhaust rocker box? Not sure anyway, I'll look that up. Okay, next we'll do head steady here. So this is same mounting point as BSA designed originally, just here, different type of steady though. So that's fine, that's easy enough to remove. Basically 3 nuts. And then we'll do the 3 mounting points for the battery tray and electrical tray, tool tray with this nut at the back here. And that's that side done. And then we'll do the rear engine plates and then we'll come on to the head. And we'll do all that in this video, and then basically this will be the disassembly video. Hopefully disassembly finished. Oh yeah, and we'll get the rear wheel out as well. And then we can take those over to Central Wheels in the next couple of days. Okie dokie, let's get on. Now we're making progress. That came away okay. Everything mounted up correctly using the right fasteners, so that actually helps. Nothing really too untoward found. The one thing I did notice, this is the with the head steady. Sorry, this is the focus. This is the securing bolt for the head steady onto the frame, and you can see the threads have worn away there, so that's been moving. But anyway, that sort of captive nut there is very handy actually. That slots into the frame, makes it a lot easier to disassemble. So there's that. Don't think there's anything else to mention at the moment. So we'll crack on with removing the rear wheel. So I've moved the chain around so the link's on the sprocket at the back here. Remove the link, take the chain off. Already undone the knot on the back and that was fine. And yeah, the other thing that I'd forgotten is we need to remove that as well, but should be okay because the rear mudguard is still secured at the back here, so we should be able to take that off easy enough. Deeper we go. Nearly there, rear wheel out. I mean, actually, it's not as bad as I thought it was. to be honest, but it is still a bit of a problem. And as I say, we haven't got the paint to match this, and we certainly haven't got the skills to be able to do those painted rims, to be honest, in a decent fashion. You can see, you know, some areas of it look really, really good, but the trouble is the rim is pitted in places, and in other areas, you know, aren't so good at all, and require a lot of work. And the only way you're going to be able to do that properly is if you start with blank rims, to be honest. And what they actually do, certainly at Central Wheels, they actually prepare rims for the older models at the National Motorcycle Museum, so they're well thought of. And what they do is actually etch the centre of the rim so the paint adheres, etc. And we wouldn't be doing any of that, to be honest. So the decision's been made anyway. We're taking them in. So all I'll do with these wheels now is just got to undo the centre 4 bolts, and that allows us then to take the discs off, and in the rear wheel case the sprocket too. And we'll take these in. The hubs are good, I think. And we'll just get them new rims, new painted rims. Same tyres, the tyres are good. Possibly the same spokes. I think these are stainless spokes, I'm pretty sure they are, and they're in good nick. Central Wheels will probably say, nah, replace the spokes, blah, 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 blah. I don't think they need doing at all. We'll reuse the spokes, I think. Anyway, we'll see what they say. I'm going to take those in, probably in a couple of days' time. Right, so next and final thing on the strip is going to be rear guard, mounting bracket, and the two rear engine plates. And that's disassembly done, save for the cylinder head, which we'll save for a separate episode. So let me just do these, see if there's any other misdemeanors behind. I don't think so. And we're there. We're there. Engine plates and the rear mudguard bracket are off. So I think, well, hopefully, with respect to the rolling chassis anyway, that's as far as we'll go for the time being. Bit of cleaning up to do, but not too bad. And we'll probably leave it there for this episode, and then next episode what we'll do is we'll concentrate on taking off the cylinder head, looking at the pistons and the bores, and all we're going to do there is rebuild the head with any new parts that are required, but primarily to get it oil tight, and paint the barrels. We'll try and do that in situ. Might be a bit difficult, but we might have to pop the base nuts off to do that. But hopefully we can, well, you have to do that while the barrels are in situ anyway, so they should come off okay. Yeah, it's in pretty rough nick, the mudguard bracket, and then this is the left-hand rear engine plate. What on earth that's been finished in, if anything at all, I have no idea. Don't feel as though it's been painted really, unless it's just primered. Anyway, needed doing. And that means, let's see, today is Tuesday the 12th, so tomorrow Wednesday the 13th. As I say, I'll just undo the 4 centre bolts on each of the hubs, take off the sprocket and the 2 discs, and we'll probably get those into Central Wheels tomorrow and let them get on with it as soon as possible while we crack on with this lot. So we've got our next paint batch, which is going to be the battery carrier, the side panel forward and rear sections on each side, the electric tray stroke tool tray, and over on the far side what I've just shown you, the mudguard bracket and the 2 rear engine plates. So bigger batch than the first time, but that's okay. We've got to get them done. Right, we'll leave it there. I'm waffling on. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for any interest, comments and subscriptions. And I'll see you all again pretty soon for the next episode as we're getting into a bit of a roll now and cracking on with this. Cheers everybody. Bye-bye.